Okay, I feel like I left some things out of the last what if. So I'm gonna go over them now and then we'll get into where I left off last time. Okay, the battle that All Might got hurt and got his wound from, what happened when Deku was 4 but 2 months before he got kidnapped. So that's when that happened. Okay, I want to go into explaining Deku's personality and how he looks and how he was with the LV. Okay, Deku's personality was basically emotionless. That's how he was. He barely talked. He kept to himself. That was how he was. He knew how to talk. He knew all the words, obviously. He just never did, because out of fear what would happen if he said something wrong. Because when he grew up in that cell, whenever he talked too much, if he said something wrong, if he stuttered, if the smallest things, they would beat him up and torture him. So that's why he kind of never talked. Anywho, okay, now we're gonna go into how he looks. He basically looks like Bucky Barnes, but just with green hair and green eyes. That's it. That's the only difference. Okay. Yeah. He has scars all over his body from when he was 4 to 7. Wait. When did I give him? I think I gave him his powers when he was 12. Yeah, so 4 to 12, he got cuts all over his body. He's got damage from then. And his regeneration cannot fix anything that has happened to him before he got that quirk. So there's that. And his eyes weren't as big as they were in canon. They're a bit slimmer and more mature, I guess you could say. And he still has a star on his metal arm, and he's 6'1", by the way. And now let's go on how he was with the LOV over the years. As soon as Shigaraki grew up and all that, when Shigaraki was kind of off one's right hand, I guess you can say. How the father and son complex. So basically, that detonator in his neck that I told you guys about last time, yeah, he gave a controller to Shigaraki. So only All For One and Shigaraki can kill him, in quotations. Because, his regeneration quirk. But, Deku doesn't know how powerful his regeneration quirk. He could, he could turn into dust. Shigaraki could use his quirk on him. But he would still come back. Except for his arm. So, every time, if he was turned to dust, he would have to go back and get his metal arm and reattach it and stuff like that. So, yeah. Anywho, back to what we were talking about before I went off track. Anywho, so, he gave Shigaraki a detonator, so, whenever, Deku, so, he always threatened Deku. He would always shake the controller, and Deku would just always look at him and say, "What do you need?" And Shigaraki tells him what to do and everything. They didn't have to mind control him as much. When he wasn't on missions, they wouldn't need to mind control him to make him do things. They would just tell him and he would do it. But, on missions to make sure that he wouldn't try to run or anything, they would put him under control and everything. So, yeah. And then, the rest of the villains, Dabi didn't really care about him. He's whatever. Because, Deku could just kind of sat in a corner and kept to himself. So, the rest of the villains didn't really mind him too much. Kirigiri, offered him a shot when he was 13, and he took it. Because, he's fuck it. At least I get a shot and that he's not in his cell, just locked up how he was for all those years. And after that, he like took, like whenever they offered him a shot, he would always take it. Like he would try to numb the past because of all the people that, like all the pain that he went through, like just to kind of forget about it, but like, but never did, And by the way, he wasn't an alcoholic. He would only like take one shot and be like, I'm done. No more. So yeah, and like when Toga came in, I feel like she came in a little bit later because how young she looks in the anime. But yeah, when Toga came in, she tried to like talk to Izuku and stuff, but like he never responded to her. And Shigaraki told him that he barely talks. He just says okay to whatever they say. That's basically the only word he kind of says to them. Okay, yes. He never said no to them unless it came to the second shot and they would like kind of understand. But like again, they didn't care about him that much. He was just in the corner. So yeah, that's how like he kind of worked with them. Like sometimes when like they were planning an attack, they would mind control him and have him help them and stuff. So yeah. Anywho, last time I said when he was younger, when they first kidnapped him, they injected him with a serum. So I'm gonna say that serum activated when he was 14. After all of his training and all this shit he went through. And when he was like in the middle of a mission, like he just like knelt down on one knee and just felt immense pain. He's like, But he had to go meet up with the car that was waiting for him to pick him up and drive off and go back to the base. But anyway, I'm gonna go over his powers first. Okay, sorry about that. I had to stop and the fucking thing wasn't working. Anyway, we're gonna go back to explaining his powers. Like what he can do. Okay, I'm going over it now. He has enhanced reflexes, enhanced strength. He can jump super high. He has enhanced durability. He has enhanced stamina and artificially enhanced physiology. I'm sorry. I looked these up and some of these I don't know how to say right. So I'm sorry if I said that wrong. Enhanced agility and enhanced speed. Now these are the next things I'm going to go over are his skills / facts kind of. So he is a expert marksman, weapons proficiency, master tactician, knife mastery, master martial artist, and master acrobat. So he could do all those. And by the way, last time I forgot to mention his arm. If like he can hack into anything he wants to. So like on his missions, like whenever he was around, he like around 1 block radius, he would turn off like all the cameras that were on in that area to make sure like no one saw him. But like people still like kind of got a glimpse of him, but all they saw was his green hair. So that's his thing. That's what the serum can do. That's what the serum did. I think that was... Oh wait, no. I forgot to mention this. Deku does not remember anything before they took him. All he remembers is his mom dying. That's all he remembers. It's just his mom dying in front of him. So, yeah. And by the way, he has killed 347 people in total right now. As of now, 4 year span. That's how many people he has killed. That's how many people, like... I'm sorry if I said last time, like All For One wanted to make him like a Nomu. I'm not an assassin, I'm sorry. I don't know what got in my head. I was listening to other people's what ifs and like I was watching like what if Deku was a Nomu. But my bad. I meant assassin. He wanted someone who would take like All For One was mostly concentrated on the big things, on the big picture. Like his like right hand man when Deku was 4 years old, whoever he was working with. Like, he would gladly do it for like 2 months, but after that he got tired of it. He got bored. He's like, I want to work on the big things with you. So like, Phone's like, okay, I just need to get like an assassin now, like someone to do it. But like all the people that he hired or whatever, there's always a downfall to it. So he wanted someone who didn't have a downfall to it. So like that's where Deku came in. Yeah. So that's what I meant last time. Sorry about that. I think that was all the things I wanted to go over by the time of it. And if by the way, if I forget anything, I will try to mention it later in the video if I suddenly remember it. Because my memory's fucked. Anyway, we're gonna start off where we left off. And I think we left off where Bakugo was going to the entrance exam, the practical exam part. Because I think we already went over the written exam part. Okay, so Bakugo was like walking to the practical exam. Everyone was kind of like chatting and stuff, you know. Like kind of paying attention, also kind of not. And like Bakugo was just like solely like focused on it. Because like I said, like what he did in his past, he felt really fucking bad about that. And so he was trying to make up for his past mistakes and stuff. So like he was focused, like he really wanted to get in UA. I mean, all the other ones did, but they were also kind of nervous, so they were just kind of trying to laugh it off. But Bakugo was dead serious around that. So he walked up to the front, and then as soon as the gates opened, he blasted off, like, you know, like how he did in the sports festival? Yeah, in the sports festival. You know how he like went over the landlines, I think it's called, like how he kept himself in the air. That's what he did. He blasted off into there. And then like Ida was like, hey, he's cheating, that guy shouldn't be allowed to come into UA. And then Mike was all like, the fight never waits for you, so why should you wait for the fight, or something like that. So then like everyone got it and they like just booked it. They tried to catch up, or they were trying to catch up. Like Bakugo, let's say at this point, it's been like, let's say 8 minutes, and he has 89 points. So, you know, like, right, because I think Todoroki got in on recommendations, and I also think Momo did too. Yeah, so I'm just gonna say that. So yeah, so like he was getting first and stuff. He was going around blasting through all the robots. You know, his hands kind of started to ache and stuff from using his quirk so much. Because like he was like helping people and also like making sure that he didn't help them too much where he would like lose his first place. Like sometimes he would like throw the robots or they were barely moving in front of people, and the people would like kill it and say thanks, man, and then like he just blasted off to go kill the next robot. So like he was kind of doing that, and then teachers noticed that, so they gave him like some hero points, like let's say only like 5. Yeah, 5 hero points. So he was going around doing that, but then suddenly the ground starts to rumble, and then he was looking the other way, and he just sees everyone running. He's like, what are you guys running from? And then he feels the ground shake, and then he's like, what the hell? Then he flips around. Then he just sees this giant 0-pointer coming towards him. Let's say it's like a block away, which is not that good for how big of a size the robot is. So then he's like, oh, hell no. Not happening. So he was about to run off, but then he heard a scream, and it was Who should I make it? I'm trying to think right now. Who could? I'm just gonna say it's Ochako. I'm just gonna keep it Ochako. Because I don't want to keep you guys waiting too long. So I'm just going to say it's Ochako. She hears her scream and she's like, help me, my leg's broken, or whatever she said. and then Baku's is all like, damn it. And then he starts running towards him. And Iida's like, what are you doing? Are you crazy? And then Bakugo's just like, that girl needs help. And then Iida flips around and looks around. And then he sees Ochako too. So like, you know how Bakugo was blasting towards her? He rips off the rubble off of Uraraka's leg. Gets her. And then like, as he was starting to blast off, the 0-pointer foot stomps. And the wind pressure like kind of blew Bakugo and Ochako off, and they were on the ground, and he's like, shit, are you okay? And then Ochako was all like, my leg's hurting more. And then he's like, fuck. And then Iida comes running over, and then he was all like, he's like, are you okay? He picks up Ochako, and Ochako's like, my leg. And then he's like, oh, okay. And then Iida was like, come on, let's go. He said that to Bakugo. Then Bakugo was like, no, you go make sure that she's okay and try to fix her up as the best you can until the nurse comes. And then he's like, what are you gonna do? Then Bakugo was like, I'm gonna fight it. He's like, what? And he's like, yeah. Then Iida's like, whatever. He kind of runs off. Well, he runs off, and then Bakugo's like, he's been like saving up his sweat since he went and saved Ochako. So he like made a big explosion on its leg. So like the leg kind of popped out. So then like he like started exploding it all over. And like it took like 2 minutes let's say a minute. Yeah, a minute it took him to finally get the robot down and dealt with. By that time, he was like already too tired, and his hands were starting to hurt really bad. They were aching really bad. So then he kind of just passed out from using his quirk too much. And like as he was falling down, he landed on his wrist. So that happened. He sprained his wrist, but should be okay in 2 weeks. Say that for now. Anywho, recovery girl comes out. She gets Bakugo and Ochako, brings them to the recovery room. Bakugo is still out. Ochako already left. Her parents came and got her. Mitsuki couldn't get out of work, let's just say. Neither could his father, so like he was just like stuck there at school. Recovery girl didn't really mind. So anywho, like let's say an hour later, Bakugo finally woke up. Then he's like, what happened? And he's like, oh, what is, my hand hurts. And he looks down. And he sees his hand is all wrapped up and stuff. And he's like, where am I? Then recovery girl comes in. She's like, oh, you're finally up. And then Bakugo's like, where am I? Then recovery girl's like, oh, you're in the infirmary. Then he's like, what happened? And then she explained everything to him. And then she was all like, your sprained wrist should be okay in 2 weeks. He's like, okay, thank you. It was a short interaction. Nothing really. So then, like, he walked home. Mitsuki finally got off work and picked him up halfway. They went home. And stuff. So we're going to flip over to Deku. This is a week later. After the entrance exam. So Deku was sent on a mission to, let's say, kill a political figure. Let's just say. So like he was like aiming down the guy, and then like he made it snow and everything. Then everyone knew like what that meant, like the security guards, the political figure, and like that. And then they're like, oh shit, so they hurry, duck him down, like. But like again, he was trained by like the dead shot in this universe. He never misses a shot, never. So then like he just like goes boom, and then the political figure is dead, straight back of the skull. He had to go through a bodyguard for him. I mean, like, his bullets and his gun, like, could go through 4 people easily. So, like, that bodyguard did nothing. Like, he tried something, but nothing really. So, he made it stop snowing, and he jumped off the roof and, like, started running rooftop to rooftop to meet the car again and go to the base. Yeah. And by the way, again, forgot to mention this, like when he was in his training stages, they would take him out there. They would make him remember every alleyway, back way, even the sewers, the streets, the highway, everything. He knew everything about this city. He knew all the ways to get around. But he preferred the rooftop because, yeah, he didn't want to go in the sewers. Who would? He doesn't want to meet it. Anywho. So, yeah, he knows the whole city. Forgot to mention that. Back to it. So he's going rooftop to rooftop. By the way, it's like 5:30 in the evening. So then, suddenly, he feels like someone's watching him. And then, he kind of stops for a second. He hears a tap. And then he looks back. And then he just sees a guy in all black with, like, a white type of scarf around him and yellow goggles. He already knows who it is. He knows everyone in the city and their quirks because of his arm. He just hack into the system and find out who they are and everything. So, yeah. He just looks around and then he starts to run off. Then Eraser was, like, chasing him. And then Eraser was, like, once Deku was, like, tired of him, like, following around, and he's like, ugh, might as well end it now. In the back of his mind, he said that. Then he just flips around, and then Aizawa gets in starts, like, fighting them. And they start going at it. You know, Deku's kind of take it easy on him, because he never really kills no one unnecessary. Like, he didn't kill the bodyguard that saved the senator. He just killed the senator. But yes, he did shoot the bodyguard to get to him. But, you know, he doesn't really go out of his way to kill. He just knocks him out. So he's, like, trying to just, like, get Aizawa off his back. So, yeah, they're fighting. And then Eraser or Aizawa was all like, you're the Winter Soldier, we've been looking for you. And then Deku just, like, looks at him. And then, like, he says nothing, and then they go back at it again. And then Aizawa was all like, I will bring you in, villain. And once he hears villain, because when he was, like, this triggers something in his mind. Because he doesn't want to be, like, All For One or Shigaraki or any of them. Because he remembers when he was younger, his mom saying that he was going to be a hero, that he was going to be a great hero, and he's going to save everyone. So he just gets immediately pissed and just punches Aizawa straight in the head with the metal arm. Obviously not at full force, even though he's getting mad and frustrated that he said villain, that he was a villain. So then he does that, and Aizawa, like, kind of is fading in and out of conscience, because, like, who wouldn't? Like, getting hit with the metal arm. So, yeah. He's like dizzy. He like knelt down. He's like, ah. And as he was looking down, he heard it and pulled out his phone, texted Nezu, like, bring him back up here. And then Nezu sends over, let's say Cementos. He sends over Cementos. But by the time he texted that and looked up, which was like only a few seconds, Deku was gone. Then like Aizawa was looking everywhere for him, but he couldn't find him because again he got enhanced speed. So yeah, he couldn't find him. He met up with the car and went back to the base. And then the guys in the car that were waiting for him, they were like, "What took you so long?" And then all he says was that he ran. And then he says this. He was all like, "I ran into trouble. I had to deal with it." And then they're all like, "What trouble?" And then I'm sorry if I keep saying and then. I apologize for that. I'm pretty sure I'm annoying you guys. But yeah. I'm trying not to say it, but then I'm gonna say it. So if you have a problem, you have a problem. So then he says, "It was a pro hero Eraserhead. Don't worry, I dealt with him." And then I'm saying it again. They were all like, "You killed him." And then I said it again. I'm so sorry. And he was all like, "Yeah." Oh wait, no. He was all like, "No, I just knocked him out, or close to knocking him out." Then they just drove off silently after that. Brought back to the base, and then Shigaraki came in. They put him in the chair. They put him in the chair that they would usually, like, do experiments and torture him. And, like, do stuff like that to him. So he hated that chair with a burning passion. So yeah, then like they locked his arms in, but like that couldn't really do anything. He just sat there because he's like scared from he's scared from All For One and Shigaraki and everything like that, because they would all torture him. So then he just kind of sits in there, even though he can easily break out, but he doesn't know his regeneration quirk. He just thought All For One gave him the winter quirk. So yeah, so he just sits in there. Shigaraki comes in. And then I'm getting distracted. Trying to think what Shigaraki would do. Shigaraki comes in and he was all like, he like kind of, by the way, he stole files from that political figure. Like, while they were like freaking out about him dying, he like hopped down from the roof, went into the house, grabbed some files and got out of there. And then Shigaraki came in, he's like, "Where's the papers?" And he like pulls it out and he's like, "Here." Or like, he doesn't pull it out, I forgot, he strapped it in the chair. He's like, "It's in my pocket." So then like the assistants of the scientist, because that guy is still there, scientist dude, if you forgot him, he pulls it out and hands it to Shigaraki. He's like, "Good." He walks out, and then right before he's gonna walk in, he's like, "You took longer today." And then whenever, like, and then he was like, "You need to learn to be faster." As he closes the door, then, like, the doctor and the doctor's assistants all understand what that meant. They burned his brain, fried it. So, yeah. They did that to him, and he was, like, screaming. They put the mouth guard in. Still. Yeah. So then we are going to cut to Eraserhead. As soon as he was looking around for him, and then when Cement Toast came up, he's like, "What's going on? Where's the villain?" And then Eraserhead was all like, I lost him. Then Cement Toast was like, "Who was he? What was his quirk? We'll try to find him." And then Eraserhead says that, not what's his name. Go back to Cement Toast. Sorry, I messed up. Then Cement Toast, when he showed up, he's like, "Okay. He was like, "Don't worry about it. We'll find him." So, like, what does he look like, and what's his quirk? And what did he do? So then, Aizawa says that he had a black mask on. He had green hair. It was long, like, shoulder length. And, that he had, like, guns, like, on him. He had his deagles, he had his sniper, he had an AR rifle, and he had grenades on his back. You know, like in the movies. And if you haven't watched Captain America Winter Soldier, you need to go watch that before you finish this. Because I'm going to make a lot of references to that in this. So yeah, in this, what if, in this whole story. So then, like, they talk about it, and then they go back to Nezu. And then, like, they explain it to Nezu. Then Nezu was like, "From what you're telling me, Eraserhead, he hasn't used his quirk when you were fighting. Or does he have an enhancement quirk? Or a metal quirk because of his arm?" And then Eraser was all like, "I tried to erase his quirk, but it didn't work, so that means he didn't use it." And then it was like, "Do you know anything about him? Have you heard anything on the streets about him?" And then Eraserhead was all like, "Yes, they call him the Winter Soldier, because every time that he goes out to kill someone, he always makes it snow around that person just before they die." And he's like, This was all like, sips his tea. Then he's like, "Do you know how many people he has killed?" And then Aizawa was all like, "From the stories that I've heard, the people that he has killed." And then Aizawa was all like, "I think he killed 29 people." And then this was like, "Do you think we need to go public with this?" And then Aizawa was like, "I don't know." Because, like, Deku has never been, like, publicized. Or, like, he's never been on the news. I mean, of course, all the, like, figures, like, important figures in their society were, like, always highlighted in their death, and, like, someone's assassinating them, but they never knew who it was. They just knew that it would make it snow. Then, like, they didn't know that. I mean, it's not only people on the streets, let's say, knew if it snows, basically run, just book it. Because some people, like, fought with him, and he, like, basically put them in critical condition, but he left them alive. And so, yeah. And then Aizawa was like, "I don't know." And Nezu's all like, well, since he's getting closer to UA, because let's say that political figure was a council of UA. He was part of the council. And, like, recently, like, two of the councilmen has gotten killed. Like, one's mysteriously got in a car crash, and the other one, like, got assassinated just then. And Nezu was like, let's not go to a news outlet with this, but we gotta let the students know that are coming in. And then as I was all like, why? Then Nezu was all like, well, if you haven't noticed recently, he's getting closer to UA. And then I was always like, true. And then like Nezu calls a meeting with the heroes at UA. Calls them, and they're all like, what do you need? Nezu was all like, he went over the files, like what they knew about Deku. So then Aizawa told him about his fight with Deku and everything. So then they were like, well, as they were looking over the bodies that they knew of, they're like, this guy looks like he's just killing them randomly. And then Nezu's like, yes, it does look like it. So then they're like, how are we supposed to figure out who's gonna go for next? How do we know if he's just going around killing random people? Because like the people like he killed goes from ordinary people to figures in society to like he killed 2 small heroes, they know for sure. Once I got to the heroes, like they kind of got like a burning passion for him, like to hunt him down. So then Nezu was all like, I don't want to go public with this, but I do want to. Hold on. Sorry about that again. Something came up and I had to deal with it. Anywho, back into I think I was where Nezu was about to explain to them. So basically, Nezu was all like, well, I do want to tell the students. I want to announce it on their first day of school to warn them, to let them know about the situations going on, and we will ask them to not tell anyone this and what is happening because we do not want to cause mass panic like we already saw and went over in the files. He kills randomly. So he might be going for UA right now, or he might not be. He might jump off of our back and go somewhere else and kill other people. But we just want to make sure that then he was all like, our main priority is to keep the students safe. So we have to let them know what's going on. We will obviously tell their parents is what's going on. And if their parents do not want them to be at that school or in this situation, we will understand, and we will double up our guard until the parents believe that their child is safe. And then all the teachers like agree to that. They're like, okay, as long as the students don't tell anyone to cause like panic, kind of like up in the high top where like rich people are, they're already like freaking out. They're doubling up on guard. They're hiring a lot of people to look out for them. And, they're doing all that to make sure that they're okay, that they're safe. And then, the ordinary people, they're, some of them hear of it and some of them don't. It's, whispered about. And then the villains, he goes after villains too, if someone gets on Awful One's back and just turns annoying and he just doesn't want to deal with them, again he sends Deku to deal with them. Some of the villains already know Deku from working with Awful One, time to time they see him in the bar again in his little corner. And they're like, who's he? And then they say nobody. But then as soon as they get out of there, they find out who he is and what he does. Then they're like, oh, so that's him. So they understand. So they don't want to get on Awful One's back because they don't want Deku to come after them. And so yeah. Where was I before that? Fuck my memory. Okay, I figured out where I was going with the story. Sorry about that. There's a lot of cuts in this. My biggest apologies about that. Anywho, so we're gonna go Nezu, yes. So we're gonna time skip. This was a day after Aizawa fought with Deku when the heroes met up and stuff and discussed this case. So, they're like trying to look everything into them, like trying to find out people who was encountered him and stuff and try to get their stories, but like some of them like don't want to talk about it because they have PTSD about what Deku did to them. So they're like, oh hell no. So like no one's helping the villains like find Deku, or like at least found some bit of more information about Deku besides his. They are guessing that their quirk is that his quirk is some kind of like ice snow quirk. They're guessing, and they only know that his they're guessing his quirk. They know that he has green hair. They know that he has killed before. They know that he's working in quotations with All For One. So yeah, that's all they basically know about him. And again, they only know about 29 people he's killed, and he's killed a lot more. So yeah, they're going around trying to find out stuff about Deku. They come out empty-handed. And then we're gonna time skip to the first day of UA. So we're gonna flip over to Bakugo's perspective. So he gets ready for school and all that good stuff. He walks into class, he sees Ida and Momo in there. So he just goes to his desk, sits down, closes his eyes, kicks up his feet on the desk. And then Ida is irritated by this, so he goes on his little rant about how he's disrespecting UA. And all the other people come in while he's in the middle of rant. They're just in the middle of his rant, and they kind of just look at him like, what? And then Momo is about to step in, but then Uraraka comes in and she's like, oh hey, you're the two that saved me. And then she bows and says, thank you for helping me out there. And then Katsuki was like, don't mention it. And then Ida's like, of course, it's what any hero would do. And Uraraka was just like, yeah. So then the door busts open, and all they see is a yellow caterpillar thing. And then they're like, what the fuck is that? All the students said that, kind of in sync. And then Aizawa zips out of his sleeping bag, pops on. He's like, okay. He throws them their uniforms. He's like, go put these on, go to the changing. Wait, no. Sorry. I messed up. He throws them some papers. They fill it out. It's just some random things. And then over the intercom, they hear, everyone please come to the auditorium. I think that's what it's called. Yeah. So then, they all go to the auditorium. Everyone's in their general studies, support course, hero course, everything like that. Everyone's in there. And then they're like, what's going on? This is kind of out of nowhere because orientation is not supposed to happen until tomorrow. Then Nezu comes walking out on stage and he's like, hello, UA students, and hello, the first years. Welcome to UA. Unfortunately, we have to tell you guys something. It's mostly bad news. And then a student raises their hand and stands up. It's not Ida. It's not. It's just a random person. And then he was all like, "What is?" He's like, "What is it? What's so bad that UA can't handle with?" And that. I think Aizawa was one of the I would say Aizawa was kind of in the middle. He's not too good. No. Let's say Aizawa was one of the good teachers, one of the strong teachers. So yeah. And then the student raises up and he was like, what could be the problem that UA can't handle with it. And everyone's like, yeah, we're strong and everything. And then Nezu's like, please calm down. Let me finish explaining everything. And then they all quiet down and do everything. It took like them a minute. So then like Nezu continues. He's like, yesterday, Mr. Aizawa encountered a villain. And then everyone's like, okay, go on. And then Aizawa comes up on stage and he's like, then he tells his story about what happened with him and Deku. And they're like, someone beat your ass. You got your ass handed to you. And then like, because the third years and the second years all know how Aizawa is and how strong he is. So like they're kind of surprised that their teacher got beat without the person using their quirk. So like Aizawa's ego was a little hurt after that. So then they explain everything to them. And then they're like, they explain about Deku and how close he's getting to UA and how his kills are getting more frequent now. And then they're like, so then he's like, we're gonna ask your parents how they feel, or we're gonna send you home with surveys and ask your parents how you feel about this and stuff. Yeah. So like they go over everything and everyone's like kind of like, wow, okay. They're still kind of shocked that like UA is like basically like scared of this one person, because they would obviously be scared of the League of Villains because that's multiple strong people, but like one person they're scared of. So they're just like, okay. So, you know, they send them home with surveys. They all come back. And then parents all have different concerns. Like, I don't want my kid here. And then, like, as long as you can promise my kid will be okay and will come home safe and everything. Then they all make the students, like, promise them that they won't say anything to the news outlets or whatever. Then they all agree. By the way, kind of forgot about this. All Might wasn't in that meeting Nezu had with the teachers to go over Deku's case. He was busy focusing on All For One, and he was busy doing his good deeds and everything, hero work. So, you know, and like he doesn't spend too much time at like right now he's not spending too much time at UA, but he will in the second week of school. Not the first week. You know he'll pop in, but like pop out immediately. So yeah, that's the All Might situation. If you're wondering about that. Anywho, where were we? I think we were with the parents' concerns. Yeah. So like they came back with all the concerns, and then like the teachers pulled another meeting. They're like, do you think we should get dorm systems? Because like villains, just random villains, have been like attacking UA a little bit more. They're like, yeah, that would be safe too, and to also make sure our students are safe too and other stuff. So they install the dorms, and that happens. I'm not sure I want to go with this. I think I'm gonna end it for today. Yeah, I went further than I was planning to. Anything I'm forgetting? No. Okay. I'll see you guys in the next part, and hopefully it doesn't have as many cuts and immediate stops. Anywho, bye guys.